Hello everyone, welcome back. This is of course the DreamHack Melbourne qualifiers. Right now we're in the upper bracket round 1. We're taking a look at Aftershock and VERTEX. And so far so good for VERTEX. A 16-6 win on the first map, Pilski. It was pretty standard fare for them. Took them a little bit to get it done in the second half, but end of the day, it always looked like it was going to be their map victory. And now they move on to their own map choice as well. So looking pretty peachy for the two new additions to this VERTEX roster.
Yeah, and Aftershock only have one rep on this map where they won both pistols and got 16-6 by DGG, so it's not a great look. VERTEX going straight up through Scaff here, maybe looking to set up a bit of an A-side exit because they got 3 sets of util. Full retake A-site here from Aftershock, looking to boost up over the top of the smokes and see if they can find any opening picks as VERTEX try to get that bomb down.
Yeah, a little bit of util being invested by VERTEX to get onto this A bomb site. ADDICT looks to have timed the spam relatively well, but actually doesn't find any connections and already starts to eat some grenades. That'll be, unfortunately, a team kill from Humongous, though I'm sure he would have gone down regardless to the T's that were rampaging through that smoke. A little bit too clean from VERTEX, that entry onto the A bomb site, and didn't really look like there is that much there for Aftershock to play with. They've got a smoke and a defuse kit, but they've only got Ricky. So 1 on 5? I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. Love that variation from VERTEX on the A-side exit. Used to see like wall of smoke across the back of the site, but things have kind of evolved to one side wall of smoke into the progression smoke into connector. Bit of shenanigans out of VERTEX. You can tell the confidence is brimming on a very high level, looking to try to find even knife kills and kind of win more than they already are. They've kicked things off with a really nice pistol there. Going to start to help them streak away on the T side if they can. As for Aftershock, we'll see if they do want to risk it for the biscuit, go for a bit of a force buy, or whether they just want a single save here. It doesn't look like anyone committing to the buy, so single save CT side, something that we've seen become more popular than it used to be due to the A1S. 2.9 as like an interval of buying a rifle that absolutely laser beams people is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And to agree.
Instead of buying a 3.1 A1S or a A4 or a FAMAS and maybe not killing people.
Look, I don't think it really matters too much in this kind of a round when it's only USPs for Aftershock, but they've got that stack over toward B, and unfortunately they've chosen incorrectly. Because VERTEX is working toward A. And they'll be hearing all this util and starting to make their way back across, but by now it's going to be too little too late for the CT side. Util is already established. Bomb's going down. VERTEX have full control of that bomb site. And PC is tucked away in the corner and says thank you very much. 1 HP wonder. Triple kill for PC.
1,800 in the bank account, mate.
A lot of cash, you're right.
100%. He's just going to hold on to it. Why not? Bit of a bonus. Couple of SMGs. Want something a little bit up tempo on this T side. You force Aftershock to buy head armors across the board because you're just aware of how many Galils and SMGs they're running. And because they're buying that head armor, you can see just how many CTs have to go without those delaying utils. No Molotovs, no, HEs. Not too many counter flashes either. So they're really going to have to be relying on winning these duels, these really sharp timings of the counter flashes, and just taking map control off the initial couple of smokes. Duel on towards a ramp. Nick has copped a handful of damage from a bunch of HE nades. But at least for the time being, things starting to settle. Aftershock have got control of that ramp. And relying on some of these longer angles with the rifles. See how things progress for VERTEX, though. They've got plenty of util to work with. So we'll see what part of the map they want to try to take in the mid-round here. Looking like they're going to set up to just throw that progression Molotov in from the bottom of ladder. From the top of ladder, rather than just retake a ramp on the mid-round timing.
Slow and steady certainly seems to be the mantra for VERTEX in this round. Burning through a lot of that CT util, though. In reality, it's just a couple of flashes and one smoke left for Aftershock to play with. Whereas, obviously, VERTEX, they have a couple of members with full belts and then some to boot as well. Nice establishment early on in the piece from VERTEX. They're going to have to hit their shots, and at the moment, they're not. Aftershock are just standing and delivering And Malta will try to do his best alone, but a double is definitely not enough. VERTEX, they did all the hard work at the start of the round, but they could not hold it together when push came to shove.
Just great protocols out of Aftershock. That initial attempt at retaking a round with the Molotov over the top gets shut down by just one smoke. And Aftershock just recognizing if they're just playing those anti-flash setups, if they're relying on the crossfires, they can kind of just shut that ramp retake down because they've got the superior weaponry. So not too bad. Only a couple of guns taken out of the hands of Aftershock. Now VERTEX back on the buy here, but much more limited in terms of the util. Having to skip a handful of grenades across the team is really going to affect their ability to fight for this map control, because now the CTs are the ones with much better utility across the board. VERTEX really looking to bully this ramp control this time, trying to push Nickers around the place with great Molotov's Vex site. This is the position he's known for. Straight up the ramp set up by a beautiful pop flash from PZ, and that's a double entry for VERTEX.
More than just that. A little bit on the top as well. It's just not looking like a round that Aftershock even gets to play. Valhalla certainly has not been able to.
Look at the exits at this point. 1v5. Never got an opportunity to get into things. VERTEX taking their time. Not trying to cut any corners. Malta's going to throw down that bomb. One little exit from Valhalla, but now he's so low they might even have time to hunt him.
Doesn't look like it. Is going to really last too much longer for Aftershock. I don't know if I'm getting similar vibes to Overpass as... What are you feeling like, Pilsky? I mean, obviously, it's not a good start.
That initial gun round, like against the bonus, was pretty promising for Aftershock, but straight after that, immediately answered by VERTEX, and a very clean round at that. Like 4 players up, you can see their T-side economy. It's already built up a little bit, like 1.5 plus K across most of the members, even more than that for a couple of them. So if they have a clean anti-eco here, it's going to do even better. Aggression through middle. Balance, unfortunately, allows the CTs to scale out, and now he's got way too many angles to deal with, so at least he's going to go down, but rest of the boys coming on in to pick up the pieces. Not too bad. Only that one rifle lost, which is looking like another clean round here for VERTEX. Anti-eco's gone quite well. And that's going to give them the ability to have plenty of money on this T side. They can crack in with 2 or 3 gun rounds consecutively in the next little bit before Aftershock can really start to pressure the T side economy.
Yeah, more than acceptable from VERTEX. If Ricky's going to be able to find anything around here. Is the AK retrievable, maybe? Hasn't found much. So, another good round
Might
for
have thrown
VERTEX.
it off the map.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm again sort of getting that same sentiment as what I did on Overpass, which is that VERTEX is kind of just outclassing Aftershock a little bit. It seems like they have a bit of a better grasp on what they want to be doing as a team. The individuals are firing at the moment, and like you, there was that one round, obviously, where Aftershock kind of just pumped them. But I look at that and say, okay, maybe that was just a round where VERTEX got caught off guard, maybe a little bit lax. Wasn't quite all there.
I'm watching it on my second monitor right now, like on the delay, and
yeah,
it's just I feel like that kind of a round is a bit of a gun div. They had a really good read on what VERTEX was doing, but that wasn't where Aftershock is kind of getting outclassed. I feel like Aftershock's getting kind of outclassed in the less straightforward parts of the round. I feel like those anti-bonuses, or like the kind of played out scenarios that you played through time and time again, like scrim in, scrim out, are easy to find solutions to. But a lot of the sort of mid-round, like XVXs and things like that, are things where Aftershock is having a little bit more trouble. I feel like that round was a bit more of a straightforward solution, the anti-flash setup and the smoke to kind of counter the map control coming out. This round's going to be a little bit more complicated for Aftershock to navigate through as well. Straight up gun round. You got orbs out for both teams. Keep an eye on this ramp control timing for VERTEX. Aftershock burning through a lot of utility, trying to keep them at arm's length for the time being.
That's very similar to what we saw earlier on in the piece as well. That one round that Aftershock did win, it was VERTEX playing quite slowly, burning through a lot of the CT util, and then Obviously not quite getting it right on their execute up ramp. But obviously another chance for them. Give it another crack. Vexite's going to wait patiently, see if there's going to be any CT aggression. Doesn't look like he'll be rewarded. The deeper and deeper we go into this round, the more of that util does get used. Vexite making a couple of footsteps, and Nikez is quick to capitalize on that. But it might be some false information, Pilsky, because the rest of the offensive is headed toward the B bomb site.
Yeah.
I think Aftershock is reading that quite nicely. You can already start to see Hugh is trending in that direction. You've got 2 players to defend. Molotovs do go through, but entries are not going to be hit. Ricky avoids that flash quite nicely, and Malta cannot do anything about it. So Vertex find themselves in a bit of a sticky situation now. They're going to have to hit some really good, crisp shots. Valiants, not quite good enough for the second, and Valhalla will trade him back on down, which puts Vertex in no better position than what they were walking into this bomb site. Unfortunately, it just looks like it's going to be a little bit too much for Brace and PZ, who maybe will struggle to even get the bomb plant down.
Beautiful. Yeah, much better round for Aftershock. They read that aggressive lurk from Vertex, Vexite rather, over on towards that ramp side. They're able to deal with him, bit of spam through the smoke, and the second player swinging from Scaff. And I really like as soon as they recognize that it's a B-side execute, they know they have numbers there. They just shift into a bit more of a retake setup, allow the orb to take first contact, see if they can further extend their advantage. And from there, like a 5-on-3 retake, you're playing in pretty safe positions. You're probably just going to be putting yourself further and further ahead, playing those safe positions and giving the T's enough rope to kind of hang themselves with. Now for Vertex, their economy started to get a little bit more depleted, had to go down to the Tech 9, but still pretty good buy across the board. Nikez cops a lot of damage early on from the util. PZ trying to spam him through the side of Scaff. Hughes copped a bunch of damage elsewhere. So, ooh, HE to follow up from Malta. I think he's found that pick all on his lonesome on that side of the map with just a Tech 9. Aggressive lurk. Just peak confidence, man. He's having a great game, and he's even able to double up with just a pistol and no help from his team.
That's
There's
gross.
no way he should be allowed to get away with that.
He's going to go for more as well. Going to get boosted up at the wood wall.
Boss.
There's no one there. Not yet anyway. Nikez is potentially the next prey to fall into Malta's grasp. But he's going to be forced back by some Molotovs. It's a very similar take to what we saw from Vertex last round, but this time, no AWP from Ricky to do anything about it, and certainly not going to matter having those 2 riflers in the mix. It's the ADDICT. Gets a vink onto PZ, but unfortunately he's only got an M4, and so that'll be another round for Vertex. And it sort of feels like we're in the same situation again, right? I'm getting a sense of deja vu. Aftershock, they win a pretty nice round, and then instantly Vertex responds and just cleans them up in the next and says, look, I mean, whatever you can do, we can do better.
There's no way Malta should be allowed to get away with that, though. Like, just Tech 9 and util, and he's been able to double entry on the aggressive lurk towards stairs there. Complete BS. Aftershock now. Money's broken. Got to take that single save before they head into the next round, see if they can give themselves an outside shot at winning the round. Nice tag to open things up onto PZ. But you've already got that player progressing up scaffold. I think that's Vexite with some pretty good spacing.
Well, ADDICT has a crack. Bit of damage done there to PZ, but in reality, not a whole lot to write home about. Nice timing, though, for Hugh. Just going to get himself at least the 1 kill. AK, unfortunately, not able to be used for much more. End of the day, Vertex get through with 3 or 4 guns again. I'm not too disappointed by that.
Pretty clean anti-eco. Nothing to complain about, for sure. We're up 6-2 on T side. Aftershock don't really have the reps on this map in the last like 3 to 6 months anyway. And the one game that they have had was a bit of a shellacking from DGG where they won both pistols but still only put 6 rounds together, which doesn't fill me with a whole lot of confidence that they can bring this one back on their T side or bring back more gun rounds. And we've known for the longest time that changes. This is Vertex's home map, and there's no better way to make yourself better on Vertigo than to pick up Vexite. This man just lives in scaffold, CT and T side.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens to the rest of the order lineup. Obviously, we know Ustilo is playing for Encore in this very event. And by the looks of things, that's gone pretty well for Encore. They've already finished off their series. But we'll check back in with Encore maybe a little bit later on when we do get to the upper bracket final. And it certainly seems it's going to be VERTEX that's going to be headed in that direction. Another good opener in this round for them. We'll have to keep an eye on scaffolding, which is the job of Brace at the moment. He loses his life to Nikez. But there's nowhere really for Nikez to go. He's forced, corralled even, to take the fight. And VERTEX as well and truly waiting for that, ready to go. So, pretty solid trade in the end there from VERTEX. Flash does well enough. But no conversion there from ADDICT.
Yep, this is where the CTs are so far behind. They want to try to cut corners, sneak through smoke, see if they can get a bit of a cheeky multi-frag in there. Hewitt's a nice one over the top, but Vexite sees those traces. That is one of the downsides of running an A4 instead of an A1S. One of the many downsides, to be honest, is when it comes to those battles through the smoke, the traces can actually make a pretty massive difference if you're running an A4, or if you're A1S versus AK, you can kind of predict where the traces are coming from and adjust your aim accordingly, try to find that player through the smoke. Another anti-eco now for VERTEX. Really like that last round, changing up the pace, going much quicker towards ramp side, as opposed to what we saw in the bonus, where they went for that mid-round take on ramp, or a bit of a slower defaulty approach, where they're applying more pressure towards stairs. Doesn't really feel like that Aftershock on this CT side can get a very good read for where the pressure's coming and when, because VERTEX are doing such a great job of mixing up the pacing, whether it's from like a macro perspective from the whole team and the calling, or whether it's just these individual players aggressing on their own. Malta's going to be a pain in the ass on stairs, and another player at Vexite over towards ramp. Never gets easier, really.
Ricky eats an 8 as well. Molotov over the top might even catch ADDICT if he's not quick on his feet. Luckily, he is, but Brace is thinking. He's thinking about it. He's expecting that next player to roll around the corner. Doesn't stop holding down the trigger. Has a celebratory Zeus shot in the air. As we know, Ricky loves to pick up the Zeus on the ecos. This time, doesn't get put to great use. And I think Vexite was going for a knife there, if I'm being honest. So maybe he deserved that one.
You trying to go for some more damage with this picked up AK recycled. It's looking pretty recycled with that skin, not gonna lie, but not too much he's gonna be able to be doing for his team. 8-2 for VERTEX. Aftershock, obviously just on the eco there. They're gonna go for another buy now. We'll see if they mix in double orbs or anything like that. They've had full loss bonus for quite a while now. Does seem like they're just gonna stick to single orb for the time being. Rely on getting more util across the team. And Ricky not going to buy a kit or util, instead holding 750 in the back pocket. Should this round go awry?
Are we going to get as one-sided of a first half as what we just had? Definitely headed in that direction. At least Nikez is able to put some together.
Didn't even look like Vexite connected that shot. Such a quick raw adjustment. But that is still a 1-for-1. And, I mean, Brace has got control of Scaff. Need to clear him out of here. Nicely timed peek from Valhalla. But is forced off the line. This player getting isolated at Sandbags as well. Nikez in a bit of a pickle.
He is. He's got that smoke down for now, but that's only going to get him so far. PZ did avoid the flash, and so too did Brace. And that, of course, is the end of Nikez. Now, Valhalla almost managing to double down, and that could have been a big turning point in the round. Would have given the numbers advantage to Aftershock for the first time in a long time. But even still, you might say things are favourable for them, as PZ now does go down to Ricky. Nice, sharp shot, and Brace with only 38 HP is going to have to clutch this one out. Wasn't spotted on the cross. Similarly, he did not see Hugh jumping up at heaven, I don't think. In the end, not going to be able to get it done for his side. So third on the board for Aftershock.
going to need a little bit more than that, though. And the problem is that, like you said, they've had a tough time stringing rounds together, and that's exactly what they need to do now that they've let Vertex kind of balloon out the lead and balloon out their economy. They need to win like 2 or 3 gun rounds back to actually break the T-side economy. Similar to Overpass, like you let the other team get so far ahead, you're going to allow them to build up their economy and make your chances of cracking into the half 10 times harder. Backside again, dropping a couple of nades over to the boys because he knows he's going to send it, but Nikos has put him in his place for this round at least.
Q. Gets dropped by Malta, who's going to try and pick the pace up a little bit further into the B site. Needs to be careful he doesn't overcommit. In fact, it's PZ to take the challenge onto Ricky. And it will go the way of the latter rather than the former.
Look at Brace, though. Timing on mid. He is their contingency plan, but Valhalla could even come and flank him up the ladder side or even go for that late flank on towards stairs. Nikos seems aware that there could be presence in mid, but Brace just buying his time as this retake slowly starts to come in. The CT's waiting for the flanker who could be checked by Valiant's here.
Checked indeed. And Brace is going to get behind Ricky as well. Aftershock have got to be wondering what on earth has happened in this round. How have they gotten those positions? And basically made that a non-factor of a retake.
This has just been the whole series, Jordan. Like, Aftershock wins 1 round, and it's not a clean one, and then immediately has their economy reset. Like, they can't just keep scraping through rounds with 2 or 3 players surviving because Vertex is immediately getting that next gun round across the board and instantly just putting them in a cooked position again. Aftershock has to take a save. Nikos is trying to force a rifle. Desperate times are calling for desperate measures at this point because nothing is going the way of Aftershock in this initial series. Do have a lower bracket to look towards. Who are they playing in the lower bracket again? Let me check the...
It would be DGG or Encore. That game, I misspoke, actually isn't done. DGG won the second map. So, I mean, you'd assume it will be DGG, but doesn't necessarily mean that will be the case.
You'd assume it would be DGG, you reckon? Got a lot of faith in the boys.
DGG in the lower bracket. You don't think Encore... You don't think Encore beats DGG?
No, we're agreeing while making it confusing.
Right,
we're both in agreement right now, George.
Yeah, okay.
We're just stupid.
I didn't know about that. Don't speak for yourself, all right? I mean, I knew what I was saying.
Very confidently.
Just don't know what you're saying.
Oh, it's all right. It's not like it's our job to talk or anything. It's all good.
Yeah, it's true.
1v3 for Hugh. With nothing but a deal. Not going to happen. I can tell you right now, Jordan, he hasn't got a kit.
Was that the deciding factor? Like, if he had a kit, you would have backed him?
If he had a kit, I'd give him the 1%er.
Okay.
Now he's got the 0%er. Not to mention for the fact he's just playing for exits. Which, I mean, look, the money's pretty good at this point, so it's maybe more playing for stats. Not to call out my boy here.
Yeah, we've cast some pretty interesting games of Hughes. Bit of discussion around that on the Twitter sphere this afternoon or earlier this morning as well. It was like a 70 game map that he played in. Almost dropped to 60.
70 round. Yeah.
At 70
I don't think he's going to be making it to 70 rounds across this whole series.
Well, what did he say? He nearly dropped 60 frags or 50 frags or something. And how many did he need? 10 or something or? Can't remember.
No, he was 50. He was 59. He 59 bombed Mirage.
Hey, so if we take into account this game as well, he's got 63.
Yep. I don't know how we're connecting those two things, but what I will say is Aftershock's done quite well in this round at least.
Yeah.
4 on 2. Could even scrape themselves 5 rounds at the half. I wouldn't be too bad. I love these earlier games of the bracket though. These are the games that make me always overrate Vertex.
True.
And then they play like a Renegades or an Encore or something.
Yeah, you look
And
at
I'm
this
like,
and you're like,
they
you
could
know,
probably take it.
they might have a chance, and then they run into it, and it's
These guys are owning
2-0.
every group stage. VERTEX just absolutely smacking everyone.
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't think I'm going to go that far. I mean, even despite the fact that this has been a really good, solid result, and assuming that VERTEX closes this map out in reasonable fashion, it probably still isn't enough to convince me that if they do go up against someone like Encore, for example, that they're quite going to be ready for that, particularly with a couple of players being substituted. I mean, I know the same can be said for Encore, right? They're bringing in Ustillo over Licky for this game, and there's a discussion to be had there, but I think VERTEX probably still have a little bit of a ways to go to integrate a couple of players versus just the one, plus the fact that Encore has traditionally been operating at a bit of a higher level than VERTEX in general. They'll still get the benefit of the doubt from me. VERTEX, though, do look like they're having a bit of trouble closing out this first half as cleanly as they might have liked. 10's really good on the T side, but could have been 12. Could have been 11 and maybe won't even be that now.
Yeah, but Aftershock's chipping in a couple of rounds. Look, 4-on-5 potential is definitely there. T side for VERTEX. This 1v1 in mid could be on a good timing here as Valhalla comes on in. Look, he gets 1.5 and some good info because that's a bomb spotted. Going to allow the CT side rotations to kind of drift into better positions. There's still 3-man committed over towards this ramp position. Just leaving Q to play retake on B and middle. So that's kind of where VERTEX, if they get themselves in an afterplant on B with a mid lurk, that is still a very winnable 3-on-4.
Oh. Vexite losing a fair chunk of his HP, but it is going to alert Hughes to the fact that there'll be a couple more players probably behind this offensive. That util certainly giving the game away. At the very least, VERTEX have gotten themselves into the site, and now they'll be able to get a bomb plant down. And they really only have to worry about that one angle, although they do have PZ watching stairs. Vexite, what are you doing? Absolute madman. But it works. Through that smoke, and it's a double. Brings it back now down to the 2-on-1 for PZ, and he's perfectly situated to clutch this one out. Double AWP on the other side for Aftershock as well, so it's not going to be easy to trade down, but ADDICT lucky to dodge that bullet. And in the end, it will be PZ to go down and VERTEX, of course, to grab only the 10 rounds out of that first half. We'll take a short break. Don't go too far away. See you soon.
You got me so confused. My head is full of you. You keep slipping away. I learned the hard way. But something's gotta stay. Don't let it go to waste. Do you remember all of the long nights warm in my bed? Nightfall to sunrise, that's what you said. You held me so tight each time again. I keep your picture in my room. Don't wanna get rid of you. On my mind when I am up too late. You got me so confused. My head is full of you. Done with silly games. Don't leave me hanging on. Keep me hanging. Said it once, I'll say it again. Your love is what I want. Do you remember all of the long nights warm in my bed? Nightfall to sunrise, that's what you said. And you have me so tight each time again. In my room, I'll keep you safe. Don't stay away too long, pulling back and forth. Still got me paralyzed. Got what you came for. One thing that I've kept. I'll keep your picture in my room. Cause it gets me in the mood. You're still left free in my head. You got me so confused. My mind is full of you. Still want you in my room. Don't wanna get rid of you. On my mind when I am up too late. You got me so confused. My head is full of you. I keep your picture in my room. Cause it gets me in the mood. You're still left
Ladies and gents, welcome back. It is, of course, the second half. And it's Aftershock versus VERTEX. What a very slow start to the pistol round, isn't it?
Yeah, just got this little flash set up on towards middle, waiting for that mid contact, but instead it's going to be the flash thrown over the top of the B stairs because that's where the initial contact is made, and already a handful of CTs sprinkled around this B site, ready to deal with the exec from Aftershock.
Well, Grace in a pretty good position to deal with this as Nikes tries to go charging through that smoke. Won't be too lucky, and in the meanwhile, Vexite is farming up a storm as well. It was Aftershock that started the second half pretty well on Overpass after having a rough first half, but doesn't seem like that's going to be followed suit here in the second map. And it'll give VERTEX a nice leg up in this second half to potentially just run away with.
Yeah, you'd expect so. Especially if there's no plant here for Ricky. He's going to have a tougher time probably putting that bomb down because you got the player. I mean, really, VERTEX kind of have everything covered for the most part. Retake player on A. Probably in Ricky's best interest to try to take this 1v1 early. But instead, he's going to plant. Going to get dunked by the nade and probably spam down. So, look, plant comes in for Aftershock. Is going to give them the opportunity to maybe have a bit more of a convincing force in the next round if that's what they want to go for. Because you got 700 for Ricky in the bank account. He could probably go AK like light armor if he wants to, or Galil and util. You could have a couple AKs dropped over in a round like this with the 2.8. And I've seen a little bit more of this as well. The Galil forces with armor. Ever since they changed the Galil to 1800, seen more and more teams kind of forcing Galil armor with a couple of grenades and seeing if they can get it done in the second round.
I mean, not much to put behind those Galils, though.
Nah, like 4 nades across the whole team. One of them is a progression smoke into Scaff right off the bat. That one flash Jordan on ADDICT to send the boys out ramp on the timing, perhaps. Going to have to be a bit more of a contacty play from Aftershock.
Already, not a bad start, actually. ADDICT and Ricky able to chime in with one apiece, and so now things start to look a little bit more interesting. Obviously, a lot of damage has been done, and Valiance is going to be hearing these footsteps. He's on an off angle. He's got the MP9. This could be massive. Valiance, a triple kill. You saw it lining up for them, didn't you? And now Brace is already over toward the B bomb site, has a FAMAS in hand, full HP, gets close behind that smoke, and doesn't quite find the timing onto Hugh. Malta might still have to clutch this one out, and does get it back down to a one-on-one. So, every possibility this could still go the way of Aftershock, but maybe a little bit too close for comfort now.
He's got that one molly. Can buy himself a little bit of time for the flood to come on in. He's going to molly the left side, but Malta coming from drop. Does not fall for that fake. Malta diving into the site on towards Jenny off the tap, and he's going to shoulder spot out Hugh. Trying to cut down the angles, and in comes the wide swing. A beautiful 1v1 played there by Malta, but really it's Valiance who we should be patting on the back. Multi-fragging on that off angle from bottom stairs and setting up that 2-on-2.
Yep. All I'm going to say is...
That is a round that VERTEX had no business winning.
That is the kind of alpha male Chad gameplay that I expect from Malta. You know, he's not one of those guys to pussyfoot around and try not to take the duel. He's a wide swing. He's a fragger. He's an absolute gaming god. I've seen him in the Rust server, mate. He dominates. You can only use one weapon, the LR, which doesn't have a spray pattern, but that's fine. No AKs for the young lad. Gets it done in the CS server.
If you're only hitting heads, bro.
That's exactly it. First shot, headshot every time from Maltino.
Attack pause out from Aftershock. Wondering where it all went wrong. They're crying. There's spaghetti all over the floor. They're trying to put it back in their pockets, but it's just not going in. And try to force up if they can. A couple AKs dropped over by the boys. A few pistolas and some util. 2 belts of util. See if that's enough for them to get it done. VERTEX taking that stairs control. early CT map control protocols, just forcing the Ts out of those extremities early on, meaning that they have to expend utility and take extra time clearing that out later on. But Aftershock more interested in working in the middle of the map here, going for that boost, seeing if they can pick that player up on top of jump up.
Well, smoke down is going to obscure the vision of Brace, but they've still got to get past Malta, who's just going to cede a little bit of control of mid. Works his way back into the connector. Hoping to wait for that timing, wait for that smoke to dissipate. Malta does drop. There is another player on that angle, and they won't be expecting this. Vexite, up to his usual tricks, gets aggressive, finding the angle onto Niquez, but the shots aren't quite landing. Nade and Molly out, but most of that job really was done by Brace, you'd have to feel.
Yeah, but Aftershock now in the 4-on-4, like, they've got to make inroads somewhere. Like I said, they lost that map control earlier on in the round. Valiance is mostly alone here. Not a whole lot of supportive util or counter flashes for him, and he's just on the off angle at Sandbags.
One for one. Still not exactly what Vertex is looking for, especially with Brace under so much pressure. Luckily, he's bailed out of trouble. And Bomb still needs to be retrieved by Aftershock. They've only got 13 seconds left here. Yes, they're getting the picks. Valhalla doing a great job of that, but they might well run out of time here. PZ, if he can even so much as clean up Valhalla, it could have been over.
I don't think they had time. I didn't see Ricky stick that
No.
C4 at all.
I don't think they did.
That's a big round from Valhalla, though. Hitting them with the New Zealand peak, Kiwi peak. Great crosshair placement from him in that round there. You could see him like anticipating the duels and the positions before he's even swinging. Swings into the angle, crosshair's already on the head, and he's just tapping away. Just blasted Vertex out of the server. Aftershock needed a Hail Mary, and he's delivering it. So Vertex now on the force buy here. Pistolas and armor. They've set Valiance deep into middle. A couple of the boys trying to defend ramp and scaff. That's not too bad of a nade to soften up some of the Ts.
Yeah, Malta with that 5-7. It's a bit of an ambitious angle for him to be playing. Not super close. Eagle, though, is going to be good for one. PZ, that's probably about enough. Someone else, though, is going to have to step up and do the real damage. Brace, this looks nice with the 5-7. And indeed, it will be converted. Now Hugh's making a lot of noise as well. And Malta maybe wasn't quite expecting the peak like that. But Vertex definitely making Aftershock work for this round.
Yeah, but they put everything into it. Like, as soon as Aftershock converts, if they convert here, forget about it. Brace sneaking up inside of the progression smoke, finds another duel, and now he's following in his weakened teammate, trying to trade that frag out on scaffold side. Addict on the long angle, 45 seconds on the clock. Brace not even needed. Valiance immediately snaps off his head, and now that's bomb dropped on the left side. Hugh cops a nade as well, and Vertex well aware of his position, ready to swing off the contact of the players on site, or ready to punish Hugh if he tries to pick up that bomb.
Not looking good for young Hugh. Valiance. Oh, the pre-fire doesn't even connect, and so that's a round for Vertex that they probably shouldn't have gotten away with.
Yeah, there's been a couple of those. Couple gone by the wayside for Aftershock. These are the kind of rounds that you can't afford to be losing against a team of Vertex's caliber. Allowing them way too much room to work with. Aftershock again, recognizing that that round kind of going down to the wire, and Vertex investing a lot in it and reducing their own loss bonus. See this as an opportunity to reset that CT side economy, and they're going to try to risk it for the biscuit. Careful of rifles in here. If they win this round, they're back in business, to be honest. They would hard reset Vertex and probably put themselves at 7-13, facing down an anti-eco, if not force. Very awkward duels over towards ramp. No one really getting the better of that.
Yeah, really messy round so far. I think both teams know the importance of a round like this for the context of this map, and indeed, and I guess in the case of Aftershock, this series as well could be lost if they drop this round, and Vexite, he might have just put that one squarely in the favor of Vertex. Another one.
He's jumping.
Yes.
Oh, I've seen way too much of that in the cartoon shooter lately.
He's doing things.
Not in my sweet Counter-Strike, Jordan.
Definitely doing things.
These Zoomers, they got moves, man. You can only hit those kind of peaks if you're born after 2000.
Well, what's going on now? Aftershock. Max chillin'. That's what it looks like to me.
Saving. Crying. Saving a Galil and a Deagle. The saddest save ever. Excite's bullied them. Even upgraded to an AK. Nice little exit. It's going to be an A1S for Addict. Valhalla might even be able to get over there and pick up the Galil. Bam on through, almost connecting. But VERTEX up 14, 4 guns saved over, helps them build up their CT money. Really are in pole position to be closing out this game, and Aftershock just kind of living paycheck to paycheck at this point, seeing what they can really put together, what kind of a mix buy is going to be able to get it done for them to have some impact in this round. Ends up being a couple of Galils and A1S and some Deags. 5 grenades left across the team after that initial progression smoke gets thrown out. So VERTEX, pretty substantial util advantage. Aftershock really trying to rely on this A ramp timing. If they can get some clean entries and scale onto the A site, then maybe they can make something work here.
Oh, there's a nade from Malta. Oh, it looked like it was nicely timed, but doesn't actually connect onto anything. I think, though, his spider senses are tingling a little bit. Valhalla is good for the one. I've yet to clear out PZ, who will be a bit of a threat, but he's starting to feel a little bit worried himself. So he'll just back up into the safe, loving arms of Vexide and Brace. See what they can get done as a unit. Maybe not too much if the grenades are going to go like that. But once again, Vexide's just trying to get aggressive. He's always the player that's trying to force the issue, isn't he? And this time, bites off a little more than he could chew. A 1-for-1 is good enough for Aftershock.
Where's Nickers at? Oh, he's coming up ramp side. I thought he was on the long flank. Here comes his exit though. PZ anti-flash able to find the first. Braced in towards secret side. Feels like VERTEX are shutting this one down.
Indeed. And Valhalla, that shoulder around the corner, not going to work out. Brace looking like a bit of a Sharpie. 18 and 9 on this map. He's having a very good time. 15 up for Aftershock. And that will probably give you the impression that they're going to be going through to the upper bracket final.
Yeah, much deserved. Much more convincing team in this series tonight. Had a closer one a couple of months back with the old VERTEX roster Aftershock. And here and there in some of these series, they have shown some promise, but I definitely don't think they're playing to their potential here in this series. It's double elim, as we mentioned, though. Maybe if they're going to have a bit of a crack at TGG later on, could show us their best side. Bit more convincing Counter-Strike. At least for this round, though, they're trying to work middle. Malta anti-flash in this position. Off angle from Brace. Gets 2 and a bit. Or 1 and a bit, rather.
Oh, Vexide again chiming in with another, and Hugh, 73 HP. Definitely a winnable duel for Malta, who has bided his time nicely. Won't be quick enough to save PZ, but still good enough to keep that number advantage squarely sitting on the shoulders of VERTEX. They've got good positioning as well. Players moving over toward the B bomb site, and that's where the bomb is going to. So this is going to have to be a real Herculean effort from Ricky and Addict if they want to save the day.
Dink onto Malta. Thought it was going to be enough. Ricky's picked himself up the AK, Jordan, but he's getting flashed off the line, and there's a 2-man advantage here for VERTEX. He's going to play this one by the numbers.
They know where Ricky is as well, so they're just going to slowly but surely eke out the victory, and that's going to be that. It is VERTEX indeed going through to the upper bracket final. As of yet, I'm not sure if we know who they're going to be playing against. Obviously, it'll be either Encore or DGG, but from the looks of things, That game is only just now actually starting on Nuke.
Yep.
So if you're interested in that one, I believe it's on ESL_TV. I'll just check that.
You can literally just go into the browser and like put an underscore in this stream